A very good evening, and I welcome you today. Today is a very, very special day for me. One, it is Ganesh Chaturthi. So, a very, very happy Ganesh Chaturthi to all of you guys. I hope you all receive loads of blessings, and Lord Ganesha grants whatever change you may wish. So, today the topic that we talk about is very interesting, and the speaker today is very special. I know a lot of you tell me that I say this all the time, but this time it's really special. Because I've been wanting to have this lovely chat with her, and the platform probably got created to have this long chat with her about her life history. So I welcome today's Smriti Shivdasani. She has multiple roles to herself. She's a life transformational coach. She's also a life coach. She's an access consciousness facilitator. I have to read it. She has lot of credentials to herself. She is an access consciousness certified facilitator. She's a maestro. She's a talk to the entity certified facilitator. She's a certified facilitator for Light Key System courses as channeled by Nirmala Raju from UK. She has turned her life around completely. Having a very tough childhood, she grew up pretty messed up. It showed up as difficult relationships, no money at one point of time in her adult journey, and near death experience with fourth stage cancer. She now enjoys beautiful relationships, financial security, great health. She has facilitated change over 1,000 people through her workshops and one on one program. She has always been an entrepreneur at heart, and she has done her MBA, after which she got into investment banking and retail banking for a few many years. After which she set up her business as a relocation and real estate consultant. 5 years in, and she started her second business of handmade crystal jewelry and home accessories designed by herself. She was into a solo venture and expanded to a retail store and supplier to 17 stores across India. A tryst with cancer in 2012 led her to the field of alternate healing, and she will talk to us more about it and how she actually fell in love with that stream to end up becoming a transformational facilitator. Smriti, thank you so much. It's so
Thank
special. This
you.
moment is so special for me, and what better day than a Ganesh Chaturthi to remember this. Thank you for being that blessing and agreeing to come here. So, Smriti,
Thank you.
a lot
Thank
of
you, first of all, for inviting me. And a big hello to all the people who are watching this today, just now, and also in the future. And a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi. Many, many,
yes.
many blessings.
And Smriti, so a lot of people may not know access consciousness. You tell us about your life. Your life has been really, really special. It's been unique in its sense because we've seen the pre and the post both alive in front of us. Tell us how the journey started.
Well, actually, I started my journey in life transformation per se, maybe like end of 2003 when my mom was critical and she had cancer, and there was really no hope for her, and I was introduced to a practice called Nichiren Daishonin's Buddhism. And I felt that, hey, listen, if doing something is going to save my mom, why not? And that's how I really started my transformative journey, so to say. And my mom's life actually did get extended, and she passed away 6 months later. But in those 6 months, I really dived deep into what is life, what is death, why do things occur? I mean, especially, when somebody's been very nice, why something like that is occurring. So I really started studying life changing principles about 17 years ago. And there's just been no looking back. And I have had a tough time growing up, and I grew up as a very angry person. And a big drama queen. And everything was somebody else's fault, not my fault at all, you know. And I lived like a victim for a very large part of my life, not realizing that I'm a victim or I'm living like one. And it was only when I started studying how life actually gets created that I said, wow, what have I been doing up till now? Why wasn't I told this many years ago? Anyway, so my journey began. And the entire Buddhist practice is based on a concept called human revolution. I mean, uh, there's a law that governs our life, which is the law of cause and effect, and the causes we make create the effect in our life. Uh, so that's how I started my journey. And then in 2012, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And then somebody told me about, hey, why don't you go and meet so and so? They're into alternate healing. And I went for a session, and then I went for a couple of more sessions. And then I realized that I knew nothing about life. As in, I had no clue that, you know, when we function a certain way in our life, emotionally or with regards to stress levels, etc., we end up it ends up affecting our energy balance in the body. And you're a doctor, so you will know all of this, but I didn't know all of this, right? I was a commerce, never having studied science or anything like that. So anyway, I went to this alternate healing session and I said, wow, this is how our energy flows get affected. So this was another dimension of life that came to my awareness, and I started learning more about it. And I went for a Reiki class, I went for an EFT class, matrix reimprinting class. I mean, you know how it is once you get into
Yeah.
that field. And
You want to
I
do
was
all.
so fascinated that I went and did every second workshop. I became a NLP master, and I don't know, don't ask me. I did like lots of things. And I started changing my life even further. So that went on, and I came across access consciousness, and I fell in love with it day one of my first workshop. And access consciousness again is about, um, same, accessing consciousness,
Yeah.
living in a conscious way. So I was fascinated, and within a few months, I knew I'm going to teach this. And I started facilitating classes. I got myself licensed, and I just kept going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And I have gone ahead and changed all my relationships, which were like not the best to begin with.
Yeah.
There was a time when I had no money. I was like minus, so to say. I borrowed money and I restarted life. And at that point in time, I was really not supported by anybody. And so I just started from scratch. And I went on to be financially successful. And then in 2018, the cancer came back again. And it occurred in, a different part of my body. And I underwent major surgery. But because of my Buddhist practice and also the tools that I had learned as a part of my journey with access consciousness and the body processes, etc., that I had learned, contributed big time to my healing. And I recovered from that surgery like far more quickly than one would normally have.
Yeah.
And then few months later, I got to know that it has occurred again. And this time in my lungs, and there's really not much that can be done. It's a 4th stage cancer situation. And I said, all right, cool, no problem. Let's see. What can I do about this? And yes, I did go through a phase which was very dark, and it seemed like pointless to live. And I was a little anti-chemotherapy, etc. So I went through my dark time. It was a tough time. But it lasted about 10, 12 days or maybe 14 days at the best. And then I got out of it and I said, I'm going to change this. So what if statistics says that there's no chance? But I believe that we do have a choice in every situation of our life. And I said, I'm getting to work again. So I again went deeper into what it is that I needed to change. And I changed it all. And within a few months, like about 8 months from the time I was told, this is where you are, I was finally told that there is no activity in your body. It's like all stable. You're fine. yeah, out of the woods. And I continue with the maintenance program, but there is no illness in my body, and I'm just getting fitter, healthier day by day. So every frontier, I have changed my life.
You know,
Every
I'm getting
frontier.
goosebumps right now as you say this because you say it so easily and with so much fluidity. But I know when you're in that zone, you know, when you're at your darkest moment, all you want to do is quit. So I want to ask you, you know,
Yes.
what kept you going? Because I know a lot of our listeners right now, and maybe who listen to us in future, some of them are still going through that phase, or you know, have just passed it. So you know, what kept you
Yeah.
going?
So there are days when I wanted to jump out of the window and just finish my life because the pain was just so unbearable.
Hmm.
Uh, but you know, it was intrinsically my belief in life and my trust in life that my life will never take me anywhere I don't want to go.
Hmm.
And I have made certain choices with my thoughts, with my words, with my actions. And those acts of unconsciousness are what has created this current situation. In fact, any situation, whether it's financial relationship, these are all a culmination of choices that we have made. Okay, whether we acknowledge it or not. But everything is a culmination of choices we have made. And these are unconscious choices that we have made. We didn't like purposely go and make them. So now the way out is to choose consciousness over unconsciousness. So
But
healing
wow,
is always
Smriti, just
always a
a
side
sec.
effect of consciousness.
I mean, just a sec, because I think this is something a lot of us who are hearing will ponder upon. Did you just say that we choose to be in a bad relationship, or we choose to have that ill state of health, or no, we choose to not have money? Are you saying that we choose it?
Unfortunately, yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
I couldn't understand this concept for the longest of time, and I said, how can one choose something like this? But it is a choice we have made. And like I said, it's an unconscious choice. You didn't make it from that place of, yeah, I'm going to, create this in my life. No, it's an unconscious choice that we make that shows up as something. And also, there can also be another perspective to it is, there are times when we ask for certain things in life
Yes.
and the universe has its own plan how to deliver it to you. So
Absolutely.
sometimes, yeah, so sometimes what you're asking for shows up, but it has to come via a certain way. And and that way may not be what according to you and me is the nicest way, so to say. But if you're willing to look at everything as, okay, here's something that is here in my life. What can I do with this? Because if there's anything in your life, it is because at some point of time you have made some choices. Okay. And even a no choice is a choice. So there may
Wow.
have been a time
Yeah.
when you have not chosen something that you should have or
Hmm.
could have.
Hmm.
And so it has created this. Like, for example, sometimes you may choose to not
Hmm.
do your accounts, for example.
Right.
Okay. And because you choose not to do your accounts, you end up in a accounting mess,
Yeah, this makes sense. Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So that not choosing to look at it was also a choice.
Hmm.
Had you chosen to address it, because it required addressing at that point of time, you would not be where you are today.
True. Hmm.
Had you chosen to eat a certain way or look after your body a certain way, your weight would not be where it is today. So everything is actually a choice. To not look after yourself is also a choice.
Yeah. Wow. Now this makes sense. Complete sense. Yes. So tell me one thing. You also say that change and you change every aspect. Is it simple? Can anybody do it, or do you require some special supernatural skills for it?
Well, everyone can do it. There's not one person who cannot do it. Why? Because every person inherently is an infinite being. And we live in a universe which has infinite possibilities available. So it's going to be you choosing whatever possibility you would like to have as your life. So, yes, everyone, I believe, can change it. I mean, if I could change all these areas of my life and it was like really bad scenes, anybody can. Anybody. But you need to operate from a place of awareness where you're willing to see how you're functioning. It's not like, okay, universe, I'd like to change my life. Chalo, abhi I'm sitting here and ho jana chahiye. That's not how it's going to happen.
There's
So,
no
yes,
there's no magic spark that is going to come in and boom, the Cinderella happens. It's not going to be like
happens in books, movies, and also happens with people who've got those supernatural powers, but at least I wasn't there yet. I had to simply base myself on the principles and the laws that govern life. And if you are willing to follow that, then there is no way that change cannot occur. So I believe that we are the creators of our life, and there is nothing that we cannot create.
wow, this really sounds exciting. I mean, it gives me an option to do so many things. At least,
Absolutely.
yeah. And but tell me, then what is destiny? When people say that your life, what you experience in life is destiny, what are your thoughts about it?
Well, when you say the word destiny, I think of the word destination. Okay. So, by every choice I make in this moment, whether it's as my words, as my thoughts, as my actions, I do create a destination.
Wow.
Okay.
So you're saying the
So,
moment I think I have something moving already.
absolutely, you've created it. Okay. So, yes, okay, when people talk about destiny, it's from a fatalistic perspective that, oh, now this is my destiny. What can I do about it? All of that. No.
Yeah.
Yes, you do create your destiny moment to moment with your choices. Okay. So I believe it's not fatalistic, it is something that is movable, which is changeable. So it's like, let's say, I decide to get into my car,
Right.
and let's say I'm on an automatic pilot, for example. Okay.
Right.
And I key in the destination, which is, say, I'm coming to meet you. Yeah. So I'll put your locality, etc.,
Right.
etc. And now my car is going on an autopilot.
Right.
Suddenly I realized, oh my God, I don't want to go there. I suddenly need to now go somewhere else. I do have the choice to now start rerouting myself and make new decisions. And, so I can redirect my life for sure. So I don't believe that uh, destiny meaning I don't have a choice.
When you say this, it actually amazes me because in a small decision, like, probably buying simple furniture for your house, people research so much to the extent of they will never ever change it. So small things make me think that, oh my God, I'm tied up with this thing or this choice forever. But it's the first time that I hear somebody tell me that, look, if you want to change your destination, all it takes is to change the destination.
That's all. It's actually very simple. It's just that we love to make it complicated because we're addicted to, drama.
Bollywood movies.
I mean, I've been there and done that, so I know what that's like. Hi, like it's like hi, that kind of a situation. But you know
Yeah.
what? If you look at life, the nature of life is transient. Everything is transient, and that's the truth. So even a choice can be transient. Today, you may have chosen something, but tomorrow you realize that it's not working for me.
Yeah.
Okay. And you will need to change. Okay.
Hmm.
So, okay. Here's an example. So, when you were a little baby, you ate maybe half a chapati, like when you were
Yeah.
maybe a year old or a 2-year old, half a chapati or one chapati.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, does that mean that you cannot change that decision all your life and you have to only eat half a chapati or one chapati? No.
Absolutely. Yeah.
As you grow up, as your needs start changing, you make a change in your dietary style. You start eating different kinds of things, you start eating different kinds of quantities.
Yeah.
So, similarly with life,
Mm.
you may need to make certain kind of choices today. But as we grow in our journey, we may realize, okay, this choice is working beautifully well, and I'm going to continue with it. But this choice is no more working for me. So maybe eating a certain thing worked for your stomach at one point of time, but today's scenario has changed. Your system has shifted a bit. Today you need to make a new choice. So when making changes in your diet is a simple decision and you don't make it like a big thing, then
Absolutely.
why do we do that with decisions about life?
I'm lost for words.
So what if nothing was significant
Mm.
and
Yeah.
everything was something you can go back to the drawing board every time you needed to go to a drawing board?
So tell me, I come to a question, and we had this whole discussion last week with a couple of my friends where people said it is difficult to let go to the extent that, people were debating between the definition of letting go and moving on. So when I'm coming to bigger choices like in relationships, or moving out of an abusive marriage, or for that matter, leaving a particular job because you don't like it and moving to something else, what really holds us back to let go, move on, or to make that simple decision that we do for our dietary habits, you know, than choosing for these bigger ones.
I guess it will be different for different people. The
Okay.
reasons will be very different. But very often in my work with clients that I have seen, and with my own self, forget about clients, but with my own self, what I have seen is there are few things. It could be either the fear, that fear of that unknown, or that lack of confidence that will I be able to do something better there?
Mhm.
And sometimes it's just, I'd rather live with a known devil than, venture into an area which I don't know at all.
Yeah.
So it could be that fear of the unknown, it could be lack
Hmm.
of confidence,
Hmm.
or it could be that sense of victimhood that I'm latching onto and I want to stay there.
Hmm.
These are few of the reasons why we don't let go. But I've also seen that while letting go and moving on may seem very tough,
Hmm.
but it's not impossible. Like
Yeah.
I saw for myself when I was looking at my own healing journey,
Hmm.
I knew that there is some unconsciousness that I'm holding on to, which is creating the death of my body.
Hmm.
See, if a situation exists, there is something going on. The
True.
situation just doesn't exist randomly,
No, no.
right?
Yeah.
So there is
Absolutely.
something that I am holding on to, or there's some point of view I have, which is creating this situation in my life for me. So I had to look at what is the unconscious that I can let go of, which could reverse this or turn the situation around for me. And I realized that while I had let go of a lot of hurt and pain and resentments and anger, and I could have, I used to hold a grudge for like 10, 10, 20, 20 years. You could have said something to me and I'll remember it even 20 years down the line and, hold it against you. I was like that kind of a person. So, till of course I realized that, when I do all of this, when I do not let go, what am I doing? I am damaging my own life. I am damaging my own body. So I came to this moment in a session that I was taking. I was a client and somebody was giving me a session. And I came to this moment where I realized, oh my God, there was some incident that had happened when I was about, I think, 14 years old. And that incident had shaken me up so much and it had made me feel so like worthless that I had gone to commit
Hmm.
suicide. And I thought I had addressed it in all these workshops and all of this work that I have done and all of that. But that day it came out that I had not let go of that rage and I had completely forgotten about it, right? It was kind of buried. I didn't want to look
Buried.
at it maybe. And it came out. And in that moment, I had to take a decision. Listen, sweetheart, you've got to move on. You've got to forgive. You've got to forget. And you've got to move on. And in that moment, I think that was one of my
Wow.
final ones where I
Yeah.
had to take final responsibility. I said, no, I am the creator of my life. And so what if that person said or did what they did? But at the end of the day, I am still the creator of my life. And if I chose that experience consciously, unconsciously, whatever, doesn't matter. What matters is that now I have to let go. Because if I don't let go, my body will continue to deteriorate and die.
Right.
Because in that moment, my decision was, or my point of view, or my belief was that I'm not worthy of living. So, that somewhere it's buried underneath, but you don't realize it. It's creating something in your body.
Yeah.
So I had to let go. So I think it's easier to let go if you are willing to treasure your life. If you truly treasure your life,
I love
if
these
you
words.
think,
Yeah.
if you think you are worthy
Hmm.
of better,
Hmm.
if you think
Hmm.
that I am the creator of my life and I am done with living with crap and I am making a demand of myself to have something greater, then that demand that you make of yourself
Hmm.
and that commitment that you make to yourself that I am done with living a mediocre life or a crappy life or an abusive life or a life which has no fun, no joy, I'm done with it. And then when you commit to yourself, then I think it becomes easy to let go. You find the courage, you find the strength, but you have to make that choice. Is that choice that activates all the resources that you require, whether it's courage, whether it's strength, whether it's people who could support you, or any other kind of resources. All the resources become active by your choice. Then letting go is not difficult.
My God, I mean, this tells me so much. So much of our life, in fact, all of our life actually then lies in our hands. So, what I
Absolutely.
hear is the first step for me is to make that choice and to
Absolutely.
commit to the life that I really want. You know?
Yeah.
So, the Smriti, also tell me, I know, I have been following your journey over 1 year now, and I have silently been observing how your journey progresses. But I have seen that all areas of your life are sorted, as in you've
Absolutely.
changed them, and there is so much abundance everywhere now.
Yes.
Personally, when I look at it, and when I circulated the poster for this particular talk, a lot of my friends and audiences got back to me asking, there are multiple things in our life that we want to change: relationship, money, job.
Yeah.
It gets overwhelming. Where do we start? Where does one person begin?
I think it starts from taking a stock. Where
Huh?
am I right now?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you've got to have your destination in place. Where would I like to go? What
Okay.
would I like my life to be like? You have to have absolute clarity.
Wow.
Like, let's say you go to a vegetable market and you tell the vendor, "Are bhaiya sabzi dena?" They say, "Madam, kya do?" You know.
Hmm.
So for non-Hindi speaking, okay, if you go to a vegetable market and you ask the vendor, "Give me some vegetables." So the vendor will want to know which is the
Exactly.
particular vegetables that you want. He's
Yeah.
not just going to pile some vegetables in your basket,
Yeah.
right? So you've got to be very specific. What are you asking for? So similarly, we live in a universe which has everything available. Every possibility is available to us. So it's like going into that mega supermarket,
Hmm.
which has anything and everything that you can ever desire. Okay, so we live in an infinite universe. So when you go to that mega universe and you say, "Universe, I want a happy life."
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
what is a happy life? That doesn't tell the universe anything.
Yeah.
Like you could be happy having, 10,000 bucks in your bank, and I would
Absolutely.
be miserable with 10,000 bucks in my bank, right? So what is happy for you? Or what is energetic for you, or whatever your criteria is that you would like your life to be like. So it begins with taking stock. Where am I? And what would I really like? And the language of the universe is energy. So you have to get the energy of what it is that you're asking for. And the clearer you are in your ask, the clearer you are in your energy of what it is you're asking for.
Yeah.
So then you ask for that. Hey, universe, I'd like to have this.
Mm.
That's what you want. Now, the universe starts contributing to you. How does it contribute? It contributes through people, through opportunities, through advertisements, and through all kinds of ways. It'll start contributing to you. Now,
Right.
you have to be aware that a path has come to my way, a choice has come my way.
Mm.
And you have to
Mm.
then keep making choices and keep going on the pathways that keep opening up as you make choices. And
Mm.
one day, when you are completely aligned with the vibration of what you're asking for, which means you've become the energy of
Mm.
what you're asking for,
Mm.
bam, it physically actualizes in your universe. So, for example,
Mm.
Smriti, it's fourth stage, no hope. These are the statistics. Okay. Now I can be a vibration of a patient with no hope, or
Yeah.
I can say, hey, in the infinite field of possibilities, me
Mm.
having a healthy body also exists. I
Mm.
am choosing it.
Mm.
Now, after you've chosen it, you can't be vested in the outcome. So I
True.
was like, hey, universe, this is what I would like to have.
Mm.
And I would like to embody that healthy body which lies within my life. See, if I'm an infinite being, all of the universe is within me. So that possibility is also within me. So I just need to embody it. So I just kept asking to embody it and be the energy and live as the energy of a healthy person. So I kept doing a lot of activities, even though I was in physical hell. So your reality may look horrible, but if you continue to believe that you have chosen and by your choice, that possibility has been created as matter in the universe, it will be delivered to me. But I have to keep being congruent with what I've asked for. So that's
Right.
what I kept doing. And I
Right.
kept living as if I am a healthy person. And every day I expressed gratitude. I lived like that kind of a person. So, in fact, I refused to speak to a lot of people who would look at me as, oh my God, poor thing. Okay. So, I didn't want to be, I was not vibrating at that frequency. I was vibrating at healthy frequency. And gradually that became, my physical reality. So
Right.
the universe can give you what you would like, but you've got to dare to choose it. And you've got to believe that you're an infinite being and you can choose anything. And
Mm.
of course, I left it to the universe. I said, hey, if we've got to go, we've got to go.
Mm.
But if I'm going to live on this planet, then I would like to live like this.
Mm.
And
Mm.
another thing that you have to look at is you have to always be aligned with what is true for you. If you're living an authentic life, and I wasn't, so if you're living an authentic life, where
No,
you're
what do you
living,
mean by authentic life?
what I mean is that when you are doing things and
Mm.
living in a way that works for you,
Ah,
which is fun
okay.
for you, which
Yeah.
makes life
Yeah.
worth living,
Right.
where you are in love with your life,
Right.
where it doesn't matter whether anybody else approves it or not, but I do what is true for me, what works for me,
Mm.
then I think you're in harmony with that universe
Mm.
and you're in harmony with that growth. See, this is something I've understood in a
Yeah.
very difficult way.
Mm.
When we are not in harmony with the nature of universe, which is to grow, to flourish, which is to be at ease, to
Yeah.
live with joy, yeah, to partake of the glory, then you're not in harmony. And if you're not in harmony, you're not in alignment, then you are off track. And if you are off track,
Mm.
it's not the smoothest of roads.
Yeah. It isn't. Totally.
You're not on the main road.
Yeah.
So you have to live in alignment
Yeah.
with your nature, which
Mm.
is you're infinite.
Mm.
You came here
Mm.
to enjoy this beautiful planet, to grow, to flourish, and to bring forth that greatness of you.
Right.
Now, are you living like that?
Not really. Not yet.
So, normally you will see problems in finance, relationship, health will be a representation of all those places where you're not in alignment with your true nature, which is infinite being.
Wow, they didn't teach us in the school. They didn't teach us all this.
I know, I wish, but at least we are so
Ah,
fortunate that
yeah,
we are getting exposed to all of this now.
absolutely. Somebody is actually asking that, that's what we really lack, and we don't believe ourselves fully. You know,
Yeah, so, uh, I can continue to say, oh, I don't believe that, and stay stuck,
yeah,
or I can each day ask the universe, show me how to live as an infinite being. Show me.
great.
And every day make that determination that today I'm going to live as an infinite being. And then the moment you catch yourself thinking from a place of lack, stop, realign, keep realigning. I think it's a new habits that we have to develop, new pathways that we have to chart out.
Yeah,
But if you keep walking on that pathway more and more,
hmm,
it will, it will become like a
yeah.
proper
You become
pathway.
your true nature, just like
And
driving.
it was this that kept me from falling off. Like, with the way I had grown through my spiritual practice of Nichiren Daishonen's Buddhism, I feel that that practice of so many years had created something like an embankment, and I did not
Yeah,
fall over.
yeah,
So that consistent training of your self, the way you think, the way you speak, the way you function,
hmm,
in the long run creates that embankment, and you don't topple over. But you've got to do that. You've got to do that every day, every moment. So I would really invite you, whoever has asked this question, I would invite you to start looking around you. Look at the world you live in. Look at the beautiful planet you live on. If you notice, even if there's an empty road which is now not being used and the road has cracked,
hmm,
there will be grass growing from it.
yeah,
So if you
yes,
look, you're living in a nature which
hmm,
is abundant, and everything has come, everything to come here to flourish. And so you have also come here to flourish. So look at all the places where you are operating from, there's not enough, I don't have enough, or this is not possible, this is not possible, I'm not good enough. No, darling, you are an expression of that infinite intelligence that created this planet, that created you, that created
yeah,
me. We have a brilliant body,
hmm,
and we live on a plane which is abundant.
hmm,
So that same spirit, operates from within me and through you. So it functions. If it wasn't, you and I would be dead right now, right? So that
absolutely.
same intelligence flows
Hmm,
through you.
hmm,
You are an infinite being, whether you want to accept it or not. So every day make that effort, that if I were living as an infinite being, what would I choose?
that's a
And
great
yes,
question to
right
ask.
now, this looks challenging to me,
Hmm,
but I also know one thing. If there is a problem,
hmm,
the problem always has a solution. But you can tap into it only when you're willing to function as an infinite being. So go beyond the limiting thoughts and go into what we call perceiving. So when you ask a question of that infinite source, okay, then you will also get an awareness of what else is possible here. So always be in question. Okay, how can I change this? What can I do here? What can I be here?
Right.
If I were being an infinite being,
Hmm.
what would I say? What would I do? What would I be? What would I choose? And ask the universe to contribute to you.
Hmm.
Universe has your back. Universe has my back. And that is something, like you asked me right in the beginning, I think it was that, I can truly say it was that kept me going, that universe has my back. And I was not afraid of death. But at the same time, I was willing to choose life.
Hmm.
Okay? But
Wow.
I left it to the universe. I trusted the universe. When my journey here is done,
Hmm.
I will go.
Oh, wow. So at all times, I link to my thought and keep that alive that, I am that infinite being. I think that statement is so powerful. It kind of keeps getting me back to the zone where I acknowledge that, I have possibilities and I'm worth everything that I'm experiencing right now and even more. So that's
Didn't your
amazing.
body grow?
Yes,
How
it
did
did.
it grow?
Beautifully.
Right? How did it grow? If that
Yeah,
spirit was not within you, would you grow?
totally.
So there's nothing that you don't have.
Yeah,
And the confidence, the courage, the strength, the wisdom, everything is within us.
right,
Everything.
right.
But it's our choice
Hmm.
that I am going to make something of my life
Yeah,
is what activates all of that. Otherwise, it's just lying there dormant.
true. Yeah, yeah. So it's so amazing because also the energy of this talk was so much that I received questions prior to the talk as well. So this
Okay.
has never happened with my other talks, but I had people calling up and asking me, "Listen, can I ask this? I won't be around. Can you ask this for me?" So there was a question where Swaroop actually asked me, a friend of mine, can we change the current pandemic situation? Is that also our choice? What do we do to change that situation?
Well, I do not have an answer for that because at this point of time, I'm not aware of what is the universe's plan for us. But I do know that how to respond to it is totally in my hands. So, not for one moment have I looked at it as a bad thing or as something wrong. Because personally, this is just my personal view, I trust life. If I'm here in this phase of life, surrounded with this pandemic, I trust there's a good reason for it to be there. How I respond to it is what determines whether I will be happy through it, whether I will prosper through it, or I will be bogged down and defeated by it. Personally, I've had a blast.
Same with
I
me.
have had a wonderful time
Hmm.
being home, studying, facilitating workshops. Um, I've had a wonderful time once in a while getting into the kitchen and making something, for my family.
Yeah.
And it's just been wonderful. And I have continued to earn money.
Hmm.
It has made a lot of people that I personally know
Hmm.
become very creative because they've
Hmm.
had to literally look at, okay, what can we do now to function in a way that will generate an income for us, and if you can earn an income online anyway, what would it take to earn even greater? So there are a lot of organizations that have exploded in their incomes. There are a lot of people who have become entrepreneurs in this time. Like,
Yeah.
I know a lot of women friends who have
Hmm.
set up kitchens and who are supplying yum. food
Yeah.
cooked in safe environment. And
Absolutely.
a lot of new services have appeared in the various industries, which
Hmm.
nobody would have thought of before. So
Yeah.
a lot of creativity has come out. So we have that choice to outcreate this. So yes, Mother Earth, nature, universe will follow what it has to follow. I'm no expert on pandemic and I'm no one to offer any opinion on it, but I know that the choice to live through it and with it,
Hmm.
and how we do that, is totally up to each of us.
Totally. So the choice always remains with us. How do we create for ourselves in that moment is still our choice.
We
So
don't realize it, but actually that's our superpower.
wow. I never
Our
thought of
choice
it.
is our superpower.
I never thought of it as a superpower. You
That's
know,
how I look at it. It's a
this is
superpower.
wow. This is such a it's a new perspective for me because I always thought other people choosing for me is much simpler. You just have to sit back and wait for other people to choose for you, and that does the trick.
That's a choice too.
Yes.
That's also a choice. But you know what? I like to be the director of my own
Yeah.
movie.
Yes.
I know that which destination I would like to go to. If I want to go to Goa, I want to go to Goa. And if I
True.
want to go to New Zealand, I want to go to New Zealand.
Yeah.
I don't let somebody else decide which way my car or my plane should fly. This is where I want to go. This is where I want to go. So the controls are in my hand,
Yeah.
and that's how I like to function. So you can create your life by design, means you can be the designer of your life, or you can let the life get created automatically, because life gets created moment to moment based on certain principles, certain laws that
Hmm.
govern the functioning of the entire universe. So
Wow.
either you can be aware of how life gets created, or you can be a passive creator of your life. So I like to, now that I have studied these principles, and in fact, currently I am studying for an international certification where I'm studying about working with the laws. I am fascinated
Wow.
by the laws and
Hmm.
how to use them,
Hmm.
how to base our life upon them to create a great life. So I know that I can use the information to create something that works for me. Otherwise, my mind will keep thinking. I will keep saying words, without awareness,
Yeah.
and I will keep creating something out of it,
True. True.
because every thing I say, think, do creates something. Every choice I make creates something. Every time I choose to not make a choice also creates something. So I believe, choose, change what's not working for you,
Hmm.
choose something different.
Wow.
And a lot of people do not want to also change anything because they have not figured out what is the right choice. That's another reason why, going back to your previous question,
Yeah.
I will not choose anything
Hmm.
unless and until I know that that is the perfect and the right choice.
Yeah.
And people,
In fact, there
people
was a
just,
parallel question that someone came
yeah,
up to me for this talk. He said, "Why is it compulsory to change?" This was a question.
it's not compulsory to change.
Exactly.
If you're
So,
happy where you are, you don't have to change. But if you're not happy, change. Also, you may be happy where you are, and you may be content, and you may be satisfied. But is this all you came to be? That's my question.
yeah.
Is this all you came to be? Or did you come to live as an infinite being?
Hmm. Yeah.
If you came to be only this much, you could have chosen another form of body.
Yeah.
You could have chosen to come as a bird or a cat.
Or a
But you
dog.
came,
Yeah.
but you came here in the form of a human body.
Hmm.
You chose this embodiment and you chose all the faculties that come with this embodiment. You chose perceiving, knowing, right? So why did you choose this? Not to come and live a mediocre postage stamp life. So there are people who will be happy, and bless you, I don't have a problem with that. But personally, I am not happy to live a small life. I lived like that for a long time. I feel that that doesn't work for me. And I keep striving each day to grow in my knowledge, in my personality, in my joy, in my laughter. In every way, I want to grow. And do I not slip? Of course, I do slip. Do I not have bad days? Of course, I do have my bad days. But now they're very far between and few, because I've noticed that when I'm sulking or I'm choosing to be angry or live as a victim, I'm not feeling happy. I'm not aligned with that infinite being I truly am. So I correct my path very quickly, because I've paid a very heavy price of
Yeah.
having deviated. Okay.
Yes.
So I know that I came here to be far more than what I have lived as up till now. So I am willing to take a stock of my life every now and then, and I keep correcting my course, so to say. So I have dreams, I have a vision of what all is possible. And I know that the even more is possible, but I know I will be able to see that when I get to a point. But right now, this is what I can see, this is what I can perceive, and I go all out for it. And whatever I need to then change, I change.
Right. So move as you have envisioned yourself to move, which is so awesome. Then the second question somebody came up with to me was, I keep attracting emotionally non-available people in my relationships. Is there a way to change this pattern?
Absolutely. So when we have non-available people in our life, somewhere we have a point of view about, I am not supported, I am not loved, I am not nurtured. Like it could be one dialogue or another,
Right.
which is an internal dialogue.
Hmm.
And you're being an energy of that. And I have been there and done that. Actually, there are very few things that I haven't been and done. So PhD leke aayu. So so there was this time when I believed that no one loves me and no one cares about me and all of that.
Yeah.
And people are not nice and people are mean and people are unavailable and all of that. And so I kept creating that as my reality. So please know that your point of view creates your reality. So if you have non-available people in your universe, it's because somewhere you believe that people are not, people are like that, or I don't deserve it, or there'll be some story going on inside, some belief going on, and that's what's creating it. So my invitation to you is start changing your belief system. Okay. So there came a point where I let go. Again, you have to let go. You have to change the way you think.
Wow.
And you change the way you think, and you start believing that I do live in an abundant universe. And in that abundant universe, available people also exist. Like people who will love me, who will care for me, who will be nurturing for me. And so I'm choosing that as my possibility. So the moment I was willing to have that possibility in my universe, that I can be loved and cherished and adored and respected, I actually started creating that as my reality. So I'm loved, I'm adored, I'm pampered, I'm cherished, I'm respected. I have a life that I dreamed of always. So it is your choice, your decision to be loved is what will change it. In my case, I also had another thing going on inside. I did not respect my own self. I had like very low sense of confidence, although I didn't look it, but I had it. And I didn't have a very high sense of self-esteem at one point of time. So I had to really look at that. And somewhere when I started treasuring myself, I started acknowledging myself and loving myself and being kind to myself. I stopped judging myself. I think it was that change within that started reflecting on the outside. So nothing changes on the outside till you change something inside. So outside is always a reflection of something within. So if in within you have this dialogue that nobody's available for me, uh, and there may be other dialogues, like in my case, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve it, and all of that, then that's what is showing up outside. So when I say take stock, this is what I mean. Take stock. What are my beliefs about this? Let go of the belief. And there are many ways of letting go of beliefs. So you got to find some way of letting go of the belief, like we use access consciousness tools. There's also another practice that I have called light key systems, which also has a protocol to let go of belief. So there'll be various ways.
Right.
Or one very beautiful way of letting go of your belief is look around you. How many people are loved and have people, available people, so to say?
Yeah.
If they can have it, you can have it. Because if they can have it, that means that possibility exists in the universe.
Yeah.
So you have to choose that possibility. So very often I change my belief by looking around at other people who have that possibility active in their life. Because if they have it active, means it exists.
Absolutely. As in it's there, it's right there.
Then I just have to simply choose it and be willing to have it.
Yeah. But Smriti, my key takeaway from here is going to be, and this is probably the next questions on financials and is on similar lines, that whatever I believe inside of me is what I see outside of me created.
Absolutely.
And then that would be true for abusive relationships, not available relationships, or no money, or bad jobs, or that could be for anything.
Any situation.
My God, this
The
is so great.
principle of creating your life remains the same. You can apply to any situation. Where am I now? Where would I like to go?
Right.
What would I have to do? What would I have to be? What would I have to let go of? What would I have to add?
Right. Wow. This is so amazing because I always thought you had these separate formulas or secrets for each area of your life. But I think it's pretty much straightforward. If I change one principle in my life, I will definitely see change in a lot of other areas in my life.
Absolutely. What will change from area to area will be the kind of actions you may need to take.
Okay.
Okay. So, like in changing relationships, you may have to look at, do I respect myself? Do I honor myself? Do I respect the other person in front of me? Because if I don't have that sense of respect for myself or for the other person, I will have a disharmonious relationship. Now, with my finances, I may have to look at, am I being careless? Am I being lazy? Am I using fear? Am I using lack of knowledge to create the financial mess that I'm creating? So I will have to probably study. I'll have to get my act together. I'll have to educate myself about money, or I'll have to stop being lazy. Like for me, my paperwork used to be like a mess. So if my CA called me, for accounting, I would avoid his calls because I used to be like petrified of doing paperwork, and it was just not me, right? So obviously, then it creates, arrears. Then you have to pay penalty. So in finance, you may need to take certain different kinds of actions. In relationship, you may need to take different kinds of actions. So actions may vary, but the path or the principle is the same. What is not working for me and what would I really like? And so what would I have to do and be to have that actualize as my reality?
So pretty much it's very practical, in fact, and you sometimes need to, I think, take a pause and take a stop of the situation, ask these questions and see what energy is coming up for you and what actions you need to take based on that. So Smriti, I think
Absolutely.
one of my friend got back to me today evening and she told me, oh my God, one more Gyan session. And I told her, take my word, this is not going to be a Gyan session because I know Smriti, you'll have things that you can go back and actually implement on with pen and paper in your life and see that change also.
It can end up being a Gyan session if you are really not committed to your life.
That's the point.
And it can be something that you can use coming from someone like me who has lived it
Exactly.
and changed it.
Totally. Yeah. So there was another question, since you are also an inspiration to a lot of women who are learning to be entrepreneurs. So there was
Mhm.
a question which said that what is your experience as a woman with multiple businesses, and what is your view about creating wealth to money? Because wealth and money is so synonymous with the male gender. I mean, then there are a lot of point of views attached to a woman earning loads of money. What are your views on it, and how is your experience being an entrepreneur?
So I love having money. I don't like that. I don't like that time of my life where I had no money and I had no roof over my head and I had to go borrow money. And I don't enjoy that. See, if you enjoy having no money and struggling, cool. I personally don't like the idea of not having money. I like to be in a situation where I can walk into a store and see what I like and just buy it without having to look at the label.
Wow.
Okay. So I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah. And at the same time, I've been in that place where no money. And then I've also been in that place where I was barely earning 20,000 bucks a month. And so the first criteria is, do you really enjoy having money? Okay. If you enjoy having money, then the second thing that I look at is, what do I truly desire? It does not matter whether I'm earning more than so and so in my family or in my friend circle. What works for me is what I go for.
Yeah. Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
If somebody cannot handle me earning more than them, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not going to tone myself down for that reason. So, which is what I mean. Are you willing to be authentic? Are you willing to live on the like along the lines of what works for you? I love having money, and I think all of us came here to be prosperous and wealthy because we came here to be a gift.
Yeah.
And I cannot contribute to anybody or anything on this planet with 5,000 bucks in my bank. Okay?
Totally.
Yeah. So I know that Gary Douglas, who's the founder of Access Consciousness, I love him. God bless him. I attend a lot of money classes. And one of the classes that I attended with him, he talked about what is the purpose of money. So normally we say, oh, to have a comfortable life and to be able to purchase things and all of
Yeah.
that. Yes, sure. But the purpose of money actually is to change realities.
Wow, this is
And
profound. Because when
yes,
you say that, it also tells me that I not only can change my reality, but also contribute to changing somebody else's reality.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
that is the purpose of money.
Wow.
So remember, you came to an abundant planet.
Mm-hmm.
And on this planet, the nature is to thrive, to grow, right? So everything contributes to us. So
Mm-hmm.
similarly, we also came here to be a contribution to everything. So for me, I believe that wealth and money is one aspect, which is currency, but then there is also the wealth that you can share, your joy, your courage, your inspiration, your, smile, your words,
Yeah.
your things.
Yeah.
And money is just one of the energy formats. And why shouldn't I earn money? I have been blessed with a beautiful body. I have been blessed with gifts of abilities and capacities. And like I said, I didn't come here to live a mediocre life. So I'm going to bring out all my gifts and abilities, and I love to monetize all my gifts and abilities. So I'm very good at many things. So as a result, I have created some 9 revenue streams as of now,
Wow.
and I would love to have maybe 20 revenue streams. So I have monetized a lot of my abilities and capacities. Now, a lot of people get afraid to monetize. And a lot of people do not monetize unless it's going to get them a certain number of bucks. I believe monetize everything that you can monetize. So certain things will create revenue streams which are large. Certain things in your life will create revenue streams which are small, so to say, in terms of numbers. but go for it, because one revenue stream probably contributes to the extent that I can pay one staff salary, but there's
Yeah.
another revenue stream that allows me to contribute to one person's education for one whole year.
Wow.
So I am always looking at how can I be a contribution, and I contribute because when you contribute, you're in the flow of life. Everything is flowing, everything is contributing, everything is circulating. So circulate money. So grow, because you can use your talents, your gifts, your capacities. Why did you come here otherwise? So
Right.
you came here to be the gift. You came here to live as an infinite being. And part of living as an infinite being is to maximize your gifts, your abilities, your capacities. So, so what if you're a woman? How does that make a difference? Whether it's a man or a woman, we are all infinite beings.
Yeah.
We all have that intelligence. We
Yeah.
all have abilities, capacities. And yes, I may not have certain physical capacities which my husband may have, but I have some other capacities and abilities which I have. So I've got to look at what do I have and go with it. Just because I'm in a woman's body does not mean I'm any less.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Very
what if we have been conditioned to think a woman should not earn more than a man? I mean, come on. Are you now willing to choose for yourself what works for you? And then you'll say, oh, but you know, so and so will get upset, and so will not be able to handle it, and so will stop talking to me. Hey, choose to be supported.
Yeah.
And they will support you. Even if you're earning more than them, they'll be happy for you. If you are somebody who's happy for everybody, you'll always be surrounded with people who are happy for you.
Wow.
But
This
if you
is
believe that
profound,
your
yeah. This is
success
so
will not be
profound.
tolerated, it will not be tolerated. So, what are
Yeah.
you thinking will
Yeah.
create that support
Yeah.
system?
Yeah. So, Smriti, this tells me next time when I have a thought over anything in my life, a problem that I'm facing, I'm going to step back and see what are my thoughts or belief systems on that particular subject. I think this is super profound.
And start from it's not a problem. Okay?
How?
If I define it as a
Actually.
problem,
Yes, if I
if
call
I'm
it a
thinking this is a
problem,
problem, then I've already, created a problem for myself.
we don't even realize. I never realized before saying this, but subconsciously
But
we
this is how we
create.
create.
Exactly. Oh my God. We have to be careful in how we call certain situations and things, and we already created by thinking about it in a
Nothing is a
particular fashion.
problem.
Yeah.
Everything is what it is, which is a culmination of choices. Okay. Now it's an invitation to other possibilities. That's all any situation is. It's an invitation to different possibilities. And then it's your choice that's going to determine whether you're going to bring forth those possibilities or not.
You know, it actually is so simple, and I'm just waiting to go and implement it out there and see what the changes are going to be for me. So, Smriti, I want to ask you this last question. Just to sum up the talk, uh, and for people who will watch this replay at a later time as well, if you had to just tell your last few message on practical implementable few things that people can begin, not too many things at one time, but probably one thing that they can begin, what would that
Take stock, live as an infinite being. Decide where you want to go, then move, act upon it. Don't be
be?
lazy,
Yeah.
because your life is precious. Don't waste it. Don't go back as a half wrapped or unwrapped present. You are a gift. Unwrap yourself. Nobody's going to come and unwrap you. So
Wow, this is
live
so
as the
beautiful.
gift.
This is so beautiful, Smriti. I think a lot of us will have to replay it and will have to make a note of it now. So I'm going to do it for my life. And when I'm going to meet Smriti probably 1 month down the line, you will at least see one change that has begun or probably accomplished in my life that I'm
Yay.
living.
So, this is what I would say: you are beautiful, you are a gift. Live as one. And a big, big, big thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Hema, for inviting me for this conversation. And thank you, everybody who's watched this conversation today and will watch in the future. May you prosper, may you flourish, may you grow, may you thrive, may you enjoy a life of ease, joy, and glory, because that's what you came here to be. And Hema, can I offer a gift
Yes.
to all your viewers?
Yes, please. My viewers love gifts.
So, if you go to my website, it's called smriti.shivdasani. No, sorry, Smriti Shivdasani. So it's www.smritishivdasani.com. And if you subscribe, you will get a meditation, which is my gift to you. And it's a meditation based on something called Jinshin Jitsu, which is a Japanese healing technique. And it enables you to balance the energies that create the attitude of worry, fear, anger, sadness, and pretense. So go to my website, smritishivdasani.com, and do subscribe and receive that meditation as a gift.
Smriti, thank you so much. I myself can't wait uh, to go and check out that meditation for myself. And I would like to really thank everybody for coming down, especially because I know today is like the first day of Ganesh Chaturthi. A
Yeah.
lot of y'all reached out to me saying that, will you still have your talk? And but I can see that we went up to a lot of people being live at the moment. And for those people who are joining us new, just to introduce myself, my name is Hema Bajaj. I'm a doctor by profession and by education. I'm a therapist as well. And the platform Lose Your Blues Conversations is for real life heroes. Our real life hero today is Smriti, and we learn our life's lessons from her journey. So that's the crux. And if you are a real life hero and want to be featured on the platform, please feel free to reach out. So, Smriti, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to have this journey. This moment is going to be treasured with me, and at least I am going to make sure that I implement your actions in my life. I'm
Thank you.
deciding to live as a gift today, and not that half wrapped gift, but a completely accomplished, opened, and cherished gift. Thank you so much.
These conversations that you're creating are such a beautiful gift. Thank you for the gift you be, the contribution you be.
Thank you so much.
God bless.
Bye, guys. See you same time next week at the same place.